Hi, I'm Pete Vowles, the British Ambassador to Zimbabwe.
And I'm Folake, the Nubian Queen, the International African.
In my Ambassador Edu series, Folake and I spend our time finding Zimbabweans living and working in Britain, making a truly remarkable contribution to British economy, to society, to our creative industries. We've met some amazing people who work in science, in publishing, in motorsports, and now in music.
And that's why today's episode is particularly special, because we get to meet a woman who recently moved an audience to a British talent show, Britain's Got Talent, and she received a golden buzzer. In fact, when she was singing, we could see how her voice is not just a voice, Pete. She has a healing element. I don't know, like there's so many things that are exciting about that. But hold on, that's not all that's exciting about our guest today. She also has a big heart and has gone and set up a foundation that is also into supportive work. And we want to hear all about that. If we had a drum roll, it would probably sound something like this. We are meeting the also lovely Linda Rufaro. Welcome, Linda. It's so exciting to have you on our show today.
Welcome, Linda.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It is such an honor being part of this. Thank you so much, Folake. Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Pete, please call me Pete.
I'm really humbled.
Great to have you. So, just for our audience who might not know, Britain's Got Talent is this time of year, it is probably the most popular British TV show where contestants from all walks of life come and perform a show, a song, a dance, all kinds of different things. And actually, I was sitting there a few weeks ago watching. Wasn't really paying a lot of attention. I was just watching Britain's Got Talent on the TV, and I heard this woman introduce herself as a Zimbabwean. So of course, my kind of ears prick up, and hear introducing herself as a Zimbabwean. And then she sat and then say that she was an education support worker, which we'll come on to. And then just heard this absolutely incredible voice as Linda started singing. And what happened was one of the co-hosts gave her the Golden Buzzer Award, which basically means that so Alicia Dixon is a co-host, gave her the Golden Buzzer, which is for someone who is absolutely spectacular, and it fast tracks them straight through to the semi-finals of this competition. So we'll come on to all of that in a moment, and I'm getting a bit carried away. It was fantastic, but maybe we just start, Linda. Maybe just tell us a bit about, before we come on to the Britain's Got Talent, but tell us a bit about your background. You were born in Zimbabwe. Tell us how you got to the UK and a bit about your musical journey.
Okay. Yes, I was born in Zimbabwe, in Harare. Grew up in Masasa. I was doing music before I relocated to the UK. I was a session musician, worked with so many gospel artists in the industry, locally and also internationally, stretching to South Africa. So I relocated in July 2023, became a support worker for children from birth up until the age of 18. So yeah, that's just basically it.
Yeah, okay. So, Linda, by the time you got on that stage, you sang a song I'd never heard, and after that I went and actually looked for the original song. You sang You Say by Lauren Daigle. And for us, we also that it wasn't just a performance for you. Talk to us about that moment. We felt as if we hear that you were singing for other people. There was something about that song. Who were you singing for? What was it about that moment that made us see the way we saw you in that moment?
Okay, I'm just gonna take you back. When you relocate to a new environment, you're still trying to, settle in. You're still trying to familiarize yourself with everything that's going on around you. When I'm here, my family is in Zimbabwe. I just came alone, and then you are in that bubble, in that zone, and before my audition, I was going through a bit of a rough patch. My health was not the best. I had some issues at work, and I was still trying to settle in on a place to stay. So all of that resonated with the song that I sang. I was in that position where I felt like I was just alone in that zone, but that song made me, to just see what, you know what, you believe that you're strong, you're everything, So I guess that's where all the emotions were coming from. So yeah, that's the main reason why I chose that song.
Wow. And I mean, it was quite, I mean, I think watching it, and I think we'll on the show notes have the YouTube link to the song because it's incredible. But you're obviously, when you started, Linda, you were clearly really nervous.
Yeah.
And then you just, as you started singing, you could just see the nerves vanish. I mean, tell us about that kind of moment, sort of standing there in front of an audition, which is something you know has such wide appeal, and the sort of transition from the nerves to the just complete confidence.
I guess it's a whole different feeling every time. My nerves come before I sing. Everything. It was just an overwhelming experience, honestly, because it's something that I've always dreamed of doing.
It's incredible. You could see how the judges and the whole audience could see that transition, just how you completely captivated the audience as you started to sing. Yeah, incredible courage, I think, in terms of how you make that transition.
Yeah. You've also said that this is not just for you as Linda, right? It's also for your family. It's also for your community. Why does this moment matter to you so much? And what are you trying to do? Are you trying to build some sort of legacy, Linda?
Should I call it a legacy? I don't know. But I just want to make my family proud, especially my mom. I really think she deserves, she deserves that, to see me, on those bigger stages and everything. I really want to make my family proud. Obviously, from this, I want to grow in music, continue growing in music, sharing my gift with the world. Just I want to venture into that solo, being a solo artist, like actually growing in that. So yeah.
I'm sure you've already made everybody incredibly proud in the UK and back at home, and I'm sure friends and family and any Zimbabwean listening to your story will be hugely proud of you as everything you've done. Maybe before we come back onto the music, maybe just it'd be interesting, Linda, just to pick up about what your job is. So you're an education support worker in the UK. Obviously, lots of Zimbabwe.
It's just a support worker.
A support worker, sorry. So obviously, lots of Zimbabweans have made that journey and followed that route. Tell us a bit about what your job involves.
It's taking care of children. Some of them who they would have been taken away from their parents for different reasons. Some mental health, some they've experienced trauma, growing up, and some they just have those needs that need carers to actually step in and take care of them. Some we also take care of newborn babies. You go in the hospital and you stand in as the mother from their birth, changing, feeding, and everything. So that's just what my job entails.
It's incredibly important part of incredibly important job, and incredibly important for those families and those children. So I mean, I think thank you for everything you do in terms of that, and I appreciate just how it must be very difficult and emotionally challenging, as well as difficult, but really important.
Yeah.
So Linda, I mean, what happens next? So you've got this golden buzzer, which means that you are fast tracked through to the semi-finals. I guess you can't tell us too much about that, given the sensitivities of what it is. But I guess in the next few months, I suppose we'll see you in live on TV in the semi-finals. Is that right?
Yes. I can't really say anything much about my performance for the semi-finals, but I can just say it's gonna be soon, and you are not expecting what's going to happen on that day, but I'm not gonna say much.
No, it must be. But you hold a secret. Well, we respect that. We respect that, and obviously, but it will be. I mean, for those who don't know, I mean, it will be a live broadcast across the United Kingdom on Britain's Got Talent. So a really, popular show where you'll be there singing whatever you're doing. But we just can't wait to see that happen.
So you've spent most of your time in Zimbabwe, right? And now you've moved to the UK, right? I'm curious to know how these two worlds are shaping who you are becoming now.
I guess the Zim culture and the UK culture, they're far different, you know. And in all of this, I'm trying to, adjust. You know, when you're coming from a Zimbabwean culture, you know what happens, the weather and everything. It's totally a different world. I guess I'm still trying to get it all in, adjust to everything. And also with the support that I get from, people that I hear, my colleagues and everything. I guess I was a very quiet person, I must say. I was a very chilled person. But when I came here, I've changed. I'm now a bit, open to talk and everything. Because here they do encourage that, for your mental health, actually.
So what? Yeah, and what is the most for what has been the people talk about culture shock? You talk about the differences. What's been the most challenging? You've been in the UK for nearly 2 years. What's been the most challenging or most shocking? What's the biggest difference or the hardest thing you found about the difference between living in Zimbabwe, living in Harare, and living in Bedford?
I guess there are different laws. In Zimbabwe, people are just leaving. I must say, is this actually, are you recording this? Because I just hope no one will criticize me. But I guess we are just, in Zimbabwe, you just do whatever you want to do, But here there are certain laws, that you have to follow. Even in like our teenagers, it's different from Zimbabwe. Honestly, it's just the way we just handle things is different than the way we handle things here. I guess that's just what separates Zimbabwe and UK.
And as you say, the weather. Our summer is a bit like Zimbabwean winter.
I know, right? It's just too much. The weather, it's the West.
My children tell me there's no such thing as bad weather. It's just bad. It's just not the right equipment, as in the right kind of jackets and jumpers.
No, but whether you wear a good jacket or you don't, you're still cold.
Okay.
That's the thing.
I get you. So I'm curious, Linda, in terms of your musical journey, right? When you think of Zimbabwe music, you think about the mbira, maybe even the marimba, maybe even the hosho. And I know you've then gone and she's recorded a song, Minduro, right? And I'm curious to know, is there a chance of you fusing traditional Zimbabwean sound into what you're becoming exposed to as you've been on Britain's Got Talent and whoever else you're meeting in this musical space?
I'm gonna balance it because obviously my identity it's more of Zimbabwe, and I'm coming into an international market which also has to relate with the new generation and everything. So my music is gonna be kind of a balance, the traditional, just fusing it in. Yeah.
So 2 years in the UK, to somebody who's listening in Mbare, a girl in Chipinge, in Gokwe, where we've just been, what would you say to that girl who's thinking about moving to the UK? What are the challenges that you face and how have you managed to get ahead of them?
I guess the first thing that has to happen is you making the decision that, you know what, I'm going and I'm doing this. So the moment you make that decision, whatever is going to come in your way, you're going to have to face it. You're going to face it because you first made that decision, It's honestly, it's not that easy. It has its challenging times and it has those times where it's actually good. So I guess it's 50-50.
I guess what you do, Linda, is I guess you role model really clearly somebody who's sort of following their dream, and you're the musical journey you're on, and that sort of how I guess that sort of belief in yourself, which is so obvious when you stood up on the stage at the Britain's Got Talent, but that it just seems to me like a really inspiring story of someone following their dream and making it happen, and it's incredible to see to see it happening, and we're so excited for the semi-finals. And of course, I'm sure everybody in Zimbabwe who will be and anyone listening will be rooting for you in those semi-finals. And I guess that just comes, a sort of thought comes about is whether your strong connection to your community and your in Zimbabwe. And your incredible performance and your future, let's hope, in the Britain's Got Talent. We would love, every year we do a celebration of the UK and Zimbabwe, and we run it through we have a King's birthday party, which is an opportunity every year to celebrate the King, but also to celebrate everything that is good about the UK and Zimbabwe. And we would absolutely love it if you'd be prepared to come back home, come to Harare, and maybe even sing our national anthems, the British national anthem and the Zimbabwean anthem at our King's birthday party. Would you be? Is that something you'd be up for doing?
Wow!
Oh my God! It will be my pleasure. Honestly, it's oh wow! It's a big thing. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I would really love to be part of it.
I think that's going to be such an amazing.
That'd be amazing.
That is an amazing offer, Pete. And I think even the guests are going to be blown away to hear and see you performing at the King's party. The food, my girl. Story for another day. So, what's next for you, Linda? After the talent show, where are you taking your music? What are we supposed to look forward to?
I'm trying to work on new music now. I'm actually working on new music now. After Britain's Got Talent, obviously, I really want to continue growing in music, growing in what I do. So yeah, a solo career is gonna come out of it. Yeah.
Wow.
Linda is a brand. Linda is an artist.
Linda is a brand.
Linda.
I love that.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, I mean, it's incredible, and we're so behind your ambition, and we'll be following so closely. Well, I mean, if we can make this happen, and we can get you back to Harare, that would be wonderful. But obviously, your journey ahead is inspiring too. Yeah. Linda, it's been an absolute joy speaking to you today, and you are without doubt a beacon of hope and inspiration. Yeah. We can't wait to see what the future holds for you here and in the UK. And for anyone listening or watching, we'll make sure that we keep posting on social media channels the shows, the YouTube shows of Britain's Got Talent, so you can follow Linda's journey. Yeah. And thank you so much.
Actually, to that, Linda, how can fans and anyone who wants to support you follow you? How can we get a hold of you? Talk to us. How can we be a part of your journey and edge you on?
On all my socials, it's Linda Mudzenda, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It's all Linda Mudzenda. So if you search, it's just Linda Mudzenda.
Liking and amplifying, yes.
Yeah.
Brilliant, Linda. Thank you so much to listeners and to viewers. Linda Mudzenda, do follow her. We'll keep posting information about her, where she's going. But until next time, thank you so much. And this is the end of our second season of Mambassador Udu. See you soon, we hope.
Yeah, and just in case you have missed all our other episodes, you can find them on our YouTube page, on our Facebook page as Capital 100.4 FM, Harara's Heartbeat. And we're also cooking up some storms. Something exciting is happening. Pete, you want to tell us about that as we are getting ready to support you in something else?
Well, we've just finished separately. We've just finished a kind of week-long. The competition is running now. Week-long cooking competition for ambassadors in Harare, and it's been quite fun. It's been kind of light-hearted, but it's been an opportunity to connect with people making uku ne mpunga ne dovi. Which I enjoy learning how to make, and you can follow that on our UK and Zimbabwe social media channels too. But it's been great fun, a bit light-hearted, but been fun to connect and to connect with traditional cuisine in Zimbabwe. So yeah.
And that's it for another episode, another season of My Ambassador Edu. Goodbye.
Bye bye.